what it do, what the business is.
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
I am Spike Lou on them same social sites. Holla at your boy. AB, what up?
I can't call it, man. It's trying to heat up outside. I like where it's cool, where I can still wear a long sleeve. So let's slow it down, son. Let's just slow it down just a little bit, dude.
Are you insistent on doing long sleeves and shorts all summer?
Is that what you're trying to pull shorts, off? First off. I can't tell you that's
you're rocking long sleeves. You got some of them sweat shorts. You got some of them, Mr. What you say? You ain't got no fear of God except for the essentials.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you have essential shorts. Yeah.
That's true. I do got some of those. That's a fact.
You hating on Jerry so hard. That's nuts. That is nuts.
Kanye's son. Hey man, we got a really action-packed episode. Low-key action-packed week though. On the low, my guy Freddie Gibbs gets into it with his ex-baby mother, or his soon-to-be baby. It's a lot. We're gonna get into
ex-girlfriend, soon-to-be baby mother, and porn star.
We can't leave that out. That's insane. So we got some Rollo news, man. Allegedly, there's some paperwork. There's an audio out on him, possibly, maybe snitching, maybe not. We'll talk about that. And MGK, some white-on-white crime, man. MGK dropped a diss record on Jack Harlow. We'll speak on that too. A lot of extra shit as well. But first, HoF seemingly confirms what we've been waiting on for what seems like forever and a day. Swiss has been promoting Verzuz coming back very soon. There's a video of Puff talking to Busta Rhymes, who confirms September, I believe he said September 8th, versus Puff versus JD is going down at Madison Square Garden, September 8th. Simple question. Is this the right place to do it? Seeing that Jermaine Dupri is obviously from Atlanta, Puff is obviously from New York. They didn't pick a neutral site. They picked New York. Is that fair?
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. I feel like that Jermaine Dupri was fighting for this fight anyway. So if they be like, okay, well, you got to come to New York, then he's going to be like, all right. Jermaine Dupri want anything that's going to make it feel like I got a chip on my shoulder. He's with it. So we got to do this in Madison Square Garden. We got to do this in Harlem. Wherever you from, Puff, we got to do it. But one thing that I do suspect from this, like JD got to come all heaters. It ain't a warm-up. Like I might open up with Mariah Carey. Just like number one song out the box. Like, nigga, don't even play with me. Y'all made me come to New York. So yeah, like JD ought to have the extended nuclear clip, nigga. Like no misses. I didn't sit and thought about these 20 songs since what's today, May, whatever, till September, nigga. I got the ultimate playlist. So I do agree. Like, it's New York, man. Madison Square Garden. Who couldn't help but that? Like, that goes down in history. That automatically makes it one of those things. Yeah, Puff gets a little home field advantage. Swiss, it is what it is. But I do think that it will play into JD's hand. Like, JD gonna go out there and surprise the shit out of them folks. Yeah. Always underestimating the South.
I agree. Jermaine Dupri needs to be in the lab right now on like the big like drawing board, nigga, like the fucking big coaching plays. He need to be drawing that shit up.
I got
now,
like 10 team people in here. Like we in here like it's draft day, nigga.
Facts. No, that's a fact.
I want the analytics people in here. Okay, when will the people react to this Usher song? All right, when will they react to this? Like, I want all of that, nigga. What the BPM say, like, for my favorite, I would go to Wash, Puff. Like, if I was JD, I would, which is, it's not possible, I don't think. But if I'm JD, I'm going in there trying to win 20-0.
Yeah, I want every round. It's not possible, but
I want every round.
You definitely got to have the team in there with the strategy on deck, though.
X, man. You got to take this serious. It's like the Super Bowl. It's like a hip-hop Super Bowl. It should be in May. What pushing it to September is insane, other than if they're going to just do some big boy marketing for this. But this should be like Memorial Day weekend. Like Memorial Day weekend, end of month in May in New York. Tickets $1,000 to get in. Pay-per-view $19.95. Like, let's get it. Like, it ought to be all of that.
Yeah, I think the question being, is this the right place? I do think it's the right place. We've talked about this several times. Whenever Verzuz does come back out, whether they've reinvented themselves or they're reintroducing themselves back to the public, it needs to be a splash. And Puff and JD at MSG is a splash. Like, it just is. And they need that. They need all the positive pub they can get. We niggas ain't seen a verse. I couldn't tell you the last one off the top of my head. It's in the back of people's minds. It's out of sight, out of mind. You need to come back the same way JD need to be coming out with haymakers against Puff. Versus need to have a haymaker back-to-back lineup, nigga, ready to go. Big dog events, like you said, whether it's nigga 1,000 a seat in that, whatever the fuck it is to create some buzz and some interest around it. You got to do that. I know people felt some type of way when I think Bone and 3-6, they did it in LA, which people don't necessarily associate with either one of them. So it's kind of like, was the crowd really feeling it? Because you want to feed off of the crowd through when you're watching at the crib, and you're going to get that in New York. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, at least when they Puff shit play. But Jermaine Dupri, I would argue, has crossover shit that even motherfuckers in New York rock with too. Like, we're not going to do him any kind of way. But I am super interested in seeing this. We'll see if this date sticks, because I don't know if this was supposed to get out. I don't know if somebody was supposed to be filming right
early. Yeah, probably
but,
super early.
Yeah, stupid early, but they be planning shit ahead like that. Like, I get it, but we'll see if it sticks. But I think it's the right place.
Yeah, they got to let people know that this is an outside event too. This ain't just no quarantine shit. People trying to limit their brand to that. Like, nah, it's outside. We're going to have fun, legacy acts, all of that shit. So I like it.
People got to come out. Like, artist acts got to come out.
People coming out right. Like, if I'm that's part of it. If I'm JD, I got Usher on the line. Like, we got to put that Vegas Regency on hold for a night. Like, anybody and everybody. I might bring, like, ain't one of the crisscross niggas still alive?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm bringing all of that.
That'll be hard though. That'll be hard.
Pregnant, Brad, all of that. Get them out here. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it happens. I hope nothing falls true for it. Like I said, Memorial Day weekend, if we can get a versus then. Like, shout out to
what's the follow-up? If this is the introduction, how do you follow this up?
That's a great question, because I was thinking about this, and I know we've seen this person before, but we kind of seen them doing them and not in this role. I would like to see Snoop come do Death Row's catalog.
Ooh.
He got control of that. I don't know who the opponent would be, but I would love to see Snoop come do the whole Death Row catalog. Yeah. Who you think should go against him in that?
The logical choice would be Bad Boy.
Yeah, but we Puff out of there.
Yeah, he ain't touching that.
We ain't gonna let him do that. No, he ain't gonna do that.
It ain't how many labels you got? No Limit, Cash Money, and one.
I wouldn't mind seeing one of them. I wouldn't mind seeing P and Snoop up there. God knows P need the good publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll be a good night for him if he ain't up there with Miati's on and shit, trying to like.
He gonna be holding cereal in one hand and a mic in the other the whole time.
That is true. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, I would. It would just so, like we talked about earlier. I know you picked Snoop for your person of the year either this year. Like, I would just put him in that boss. Like, you wouldn't have thought that, like, JD can get up here and do a whole label, Puff can get up here and do a whole label, and now Snoop, I can get up here, I can do a whole label too. Yeah, so Death Row versus somebody with Snoop up at the helm, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, those Death Row albums are back on streaming sites too. If y'all missed that, they had came down for a minute, but they back now. So Chronic,
listen to the Chronic this weekend.
Run it. Yep.
Y'all let us know who they should be who Death Row would go against for the next verses. That'll be fire. And Timbaland and Swiss routing and checking numbers are still the same. So y'all just shoot that over to us for that suggestion on the No Limit and Death Row. Next, man, speaking of Timbaland, your man's, he got on IG or social media sites, AB, man, and he was in his bag. Is that what we calling this? Yeah. He had the new AI that everybody's been using to mix and match songs. He had a brand new track with guess who? The late great Biggie Smalls. Hey, B, there's a simple question that comes from this, man. Is it cool or corny that he was hype about this dead AI Biggie track?
I actually think I seen the internet wearing him out.
Let's let it be known, though, that Biggie didn't fuck with him, they're saying. That's why the internet's wearing him out.
Really?
Yes. I read that on the internet somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not going to stand by it and say 100% true, but the reason that he was getting a lot of backlash is because Biggie did not fuck with him. Allegedly.
Well, part two to that is allegedly he was tight when Drake and Chris Brown sampled Aaliyah. They used some of her vocals for a song, and he was allegedly tight about that. So people were calling, you can't be a hypocrite and redo Biggie shit, and so I saw some of that. But taking that out of the equation, I wasn't necessarily mad at it. He was crafted. He made a beat. And of course, he used the AI Biggie voice to make the beat around. He said he'd always want to make a beat for Big. He always wanted to produce. He never got a chance. The nigga was bored. They're waiting on September 8th. They got time to kill.
Bored and rich and talented.
He bored and rich, so he made a beat around Biggie, and he was hype about it. It didn't sound bad to me. Although Biggie did name drop Nipsey and Pop Smoke, I was like, I wouldn't have had him say that.
Fucking way.
That was kind of some small. But I wasn't mad at it. It didn't bother me, man. Like, let the nigga be hype, dude. It ain't like he put it out as a single. It ain't like, hey, this is my new song featuring Big. Like, he wasn't that. He was just like, I'm just fucking around in the lab and I got to do it and I think it sound cool. What y'all think? That's it. It ain't that serious to me.
I'm not mad at it either. This is new technology, man. People are still figuring this out. And when you do something like that as a creative that he is, you're gonna be excited about it, man. So I understand that. It's better him to be up playing with it now than be behind and left behind once everybody starts using it, is the way that I look at it. I ain't really sure on what side of the fence I fall with the whole AI shit, as far as how they're going to be used, but I do feel like, hey, if it's going to be out there, people like him gotta learn how to use it if they want to continue to be in that business and continue to be at the forefront of the industry. But I think it was cool. I'm not mad at it at all. It's not anything that I hate. Yeah, like, I think that Timberland's corny overall. So, I mean, there's nothing too much that he could do to make me think that he's that much more corny. He's like, this right in his alley, up his lane. This is what I would expect him to do, the reaction, all of that. So I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't surprised by it at all.
Two things I think people skipped out on was before he played the song, he said, I know people are kind of on the fence about this AI thing, and I think I have a solution to the issue and what can be done with it, but I'll speak to that later. But in the meantime, I just made this beat, and I was like, damn, I wonder what he talked. Whoa, hold on, what does that mean? What are you talking about? I would love to know what that statement was about. I think people overlooked that. And then two, he had sunglasses indoors by himself making a beat. He looked crazy.
At the crib with the sunglasses.
He looked wild. I was like, bro, what are you doing? That looked insane. Dolo in the crib with the sunglasses on. You wear sunglasses when you make beats, my nigga? Like, stop.
That's crazy.
That was, if anything was corny, it was that. But I do want to know what he meant by the solution to the AI quote unquote problem. I wanted him to dig more into that. I didn't give a fuck about the beat when he said that.
A lot of people have been speaking to that AI shit, man. I just seen Warren Buffett was talking about he was scared of it. What was it? Bill Gates was on TV talking about it over the weekend too. So
yeah, the problem is because you can, if you can duplicate someone's voice and you can make them say some controversial shit, or you can make them say some cancelable shit on a phone call, and then you got to prove that wasn't you. So then it can, like with anything in the wrong hands, it's a problem.
That's what the dude from the guy from Microsoft said. He created it, like he called it. You seen that?
No, I didn't.
He's supposed to be like the godfather of AI, and he's going to resign from Microsoft because he said that it's moving way too fast, way too quick, and it's getting scary. And he want to be able not to work there, which is why he's resigning, to keep people aware of it and make sure that people aren't being misguided. Basically, he can't talk out against it since he employed by him. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But if you created it, I wonder what your purpose in creating it was for. Like, what was the ideal situation? Can you be surprised that it's going to be used for negative shit? Like, come on.
Yeah, he thought that it would take maybe 50 to 60 years for it to get to the point that it's getting to. And he thought that by that time that we would be able as a society to handle it. He said, but it's moving way quicker than anyone could have imagined. Imagine him saying that as the creator of it. So he's saying it's going to be like, as you said, it's going to get tricky very fast as to what's real and what's not.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Moving on, man. Currency took to Twitter. Double XL posed a question on Twitter, said, man, which rapper has the most loyal fan base? Currency responded. He said, me. They keep me paid enough to provide for family and have all the fancy shit that the chart-topping artists have. Plus, they don't pressure me to change my style or adapt to shifts in music climate. They have held me down forever and lifted me up forever at the same damn time. Simple question. Does Currency have the most loyal fan base in hip hop?
Man, I came across this and I read his response and I thought about it, trying to think like this has to be another answer. And I thought about it and I was like, nah, you know what? He right. Because I've never seen a situation where Currency, well, I looked at him and I'm like, man, what is dude doing? Prior to him getting this fan base, yeah, of course, with no limit of cash money or whatever it was. Once he established his fan base and who Currency, Hot Spitter was, Jet Life, all of that, it's like it's been consistently that. And anybody that wanted to fuck with him would come over to his lane. I ain't seen him try to go do no pop shit, no gangster shit. Like, I'm Currency, I smoke good, I like good cars, I'm gonna smoke you out on tour. Like, it's just all been the same, and he's right. I think that's the ideal lifestyle for an artist where I got a fan base. I ain't got to create no single. I ain't got to go to no label. I wake up, put this fly shit out that these people fuck with. They're going to come to the shows. They're going to buy the merch. They're going to come to the stores. They're going to support me. And I ain't really got to deal with too many other people who I don't fuck with. He had a great point, man. I can't think of another fan base that's right there with Currencies as to, oh, I got to try this to try to stay hot. Oh, I got to do this. Like, you never see Currency doing that because he got such a loyal fan base. I think he might be right, AB. What say you?
Yeah, man. Excluding the hives out here, which is, you could argue some of those are some of that is machine driven because they got the big boy machine behind them. If you go Nicki, you go Beyonce, motherfuckers like that. But if you're going independent, like, he's laid the blueprint down for Larry June. Even somebody like A. Gibbs, who we're going to talk about in a minute, these fan bases are grassroots created. And he had a moment, like you said, he had a moment where he was trying to find himself. He was on some street shit with no limit. He was on some flashy shit with Cash Money. That wasn't really him. And he even details the last kind of business conversation he had with Wayne and Cortez. And they were like, are you sure you don't want this deal? Are you sure, my nigga? And he was like, nah, I'm going to do it this way. And that was probably 2008, bro. And he has been good ever since then. He got all, like he just said, he got all the fancy toys that you could want, you know what I'm saying, like the Billboard Top 100 artists got, with half the headache, dude, if even half. He goes on tour every year. Show be sold out every year, no matter the city. He'll drop 3 or 4 projects. He'll tour those projects, rinse, wash, repeat. Nigga, he can do that from now until the end of time. People have peeped that. Larry June's doing the same shit. A lot of other people are doing the same shit. If it ain't Currency, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The merch is centered around that. You got the
lifestyle
store. Like, it's a lifestyle thing. Like you said, good Larry June, shit, Sauce Walker, Money Man, like all of these people who just like, I don't got to do that. I'm going to stay right here. Currency, the blueprint for it.
Yeah, and I fucks with Currency. I've never met him. He seemed like a 100 ass nigga though. I like that he says, he said this several times on social media, man, you do not have to step out of character. You can win doing you. You ain't got to sell out. You ain't got to do no shit you don't want to do. Like, you can literally play your cards the way that they were dealt. Do you. Don't do nobody else, and you can win. I'm living proof of that. And I respect that message because a lot of people feel pressure to do the opposite of that. So I like that he pushes that message and need an example of it.
I agree with that. One of the most interesting things about that is it isn't like he settled for it either. Like, you brought up a good point. Hey, God, I could have been with Wayne. I was with No Limit. Yeah. I worked with Dame Dash.
Yep.
Like, all of these people who are tops in the game, I've had the opportunity to make this something else and trying to be that quote unquote rap star, but nah, I'm more comfortable doing it this way. And since I'm more comfortable doing it this way, like you said, I can be myself, and we're gonna keep the pedal to the metal. Wash, rinse, repeat. Like, it's brilliant, really.
I would
Case
say,
to be studied with. I would definitely want to see that Currency documentary from start to now. That would be fire.
You could argue Cole has a very loyal fan base too, though. Very loyal fan base.
Yeah.
I think they're right. However, I think he has an organic fan base.
True. I agree with that.
He got haters too.
And they loyal and they stick with you. He definitely got the sleep music haters.
For sure.
How J. Cole has mentioned that moment that, well, okay, Currency got it too, like we said, with Cash Money and No Limit. But J. Cole, the infamous dressed alike at the
Versace
award show moment, right? Knowing that wasn't him. So yeah, I mean, I guess everybody got him. Yeah, that's a good one, J. Cole.
But you see some people had that moment and they don't recover from. Big Crit had it, and he was like, "This Def Jam, and this ain't me. I'm finna go independent. I'm finna do." And this, it hasn't been the same since. So it's kind of like, I'm surprised that Currency is still as relevant as he is, because he did this like right before the blog era. Like he kind of came in, you know how we look now and be like, okay, yeah, you can be a internet rapper, meaning you don't need a song on the radio to be successful. That's relatively new. Currency came in right, I'm talking about right on time, but he was here before that too. So his switch over to that blog era shit, speaking directly to his fans, crafting out merch, but merch being more like a clothing line than just your logo on a shirt. Like the timing was just right, because if he was 2 years earlier, I don't know if he would have lasted.
He might have got lost in that wave. That's a fact. All right, what we got next, man? Your girl, young Glorilla, straight out of M-Town. She met Method Man over the weekend, AB. And shocker, she had no clue who he was. The internet went ham on her. Is that fair or foul?
Man, to give some context, because Method Man was on a red carpet and they asked him what current artists are he listening to. He said, I don't really listen to much current artists, but the household, Glorilla is shaking my household right now. Like, that's what they own. And he said, I met her. I don't think she knew who I was, but she was very polite and very kind and respectful. And I think that speaks a lot to her character. So she's going to go a long way. The people skipped the part where she was respectful and kind of didn't give a fuck about that. All they cared about was, I don't think she knew who I was. The internet being hot at her is foul. I understand the thought process immediately. What? How do you not know Method Man? Glorilla was born in 1999. I remember 1999 like it was yesterday. If you look at Method Man's last charted album, it was with Redman in 1999, dude. That was his last hit record. Now, unless she watches Power, Book 12, or whatever the fuck he's on, I'm not that surprised that she doesn't know who he is. Now, I will say, if she has never heard the name Method Man before, that would be a little, I'd be like, oh, really? You ain't never heard it? But for her to not know who this 55-year-old nigga in front of me is the same person, that's not that big of a stretch to me. I'm gonna keep it clear. That's not that big of a stretch. It's not that deep.
She is from Memphis. She ain't never heard of Method Man.
No, she's heard the name.
Nah. She from Memphis, bro.
They've heard the name Method Man, dude.
Not her. Did you see her before she blew up? Like, I get it. Like, but what I don't believe she don't watch Power. Just like I believe she from Memphis and 1999 born in Memphis, and her ratchet fuck nigga free. She probably has never heard the name Method Man. I could see that. But I don't believe she don't watch Power. I don't believe it. She had to know who he was, like,
or at least know somebody, or at least her
like
friends
she didn't seen him before. Like, that's that. So him probably being like, you didn't know me. He didn't know her from rap. He knew she knew who the fuck he was. I believe she had to. That nigga face be all over TV and all over online with the zaddy jokes and shit where the girls be making about. Like, she knew who that nigga was. At the very least, she knew he was famous. She may not have known what he did. But I would disagree with you in the sense of a chick like Glorilla being born in 99, never heard of Method Man's name. Never even heard of him. Never even. You just said his last chart topping thing was in 99.
That's true.
That's when she was born. Like, her mama damn sure wasn't listening to that nigga.
She know who? Nah, her mama be on them zaddy pages, nigga, talking about Method Man. That's probably right up her alley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She probably know him from that, right? Not from, oh, that's Method Man. Like, she don't know his name at all. That nigga could have a name tag on. She would have been like, is that a new dude? Like, what is Method Man?
What's a respectable? Okay, so if she doesn't know who Method Man is, some people were complaining that if you rap, you're supposed to at least know some people that came before you. What's a respectable name that came before her that she should know?
We're in a new era, man. But that's a great point. I bet she know who A-Ball and MJG is. Same era. I bet she know who them niggas is. Yeah. I bet she know who Project Pat is and Juicy J. Well, like, she know all of the people.
Hey, come on now. That's backyard shit. Outside
of Memphis, that's all she's supposed to. Bro, I don't have a lot of expectations.
Does she know who Scarface is?
No. She's from Memphis, bro. Have you been? You've been to Memphis, nigga.
I've been to Memphis several times.
You met Memphis people. You know what they listen to. They not listening to Scarface or Method Man, nigga. They listen to Project Pat, 3-6, Moneybag, Yo Gotti. Like, that's it, bro. Like,
you don't know who UGK is? She don't know who Bun B is?
She know Bun B. She know Bun B.
How the fuck would she know who? That's what if she know who Bun B, she knows Scarface then, bro.
Where would she know Scarface from? Exactly.
That's a good question.
Exactly. Like she know, like my mama probably know who Bun B is, but she don't follow rap. Just to put it like,
So your mom could point out Bun B in a lineup of 3 faces. You're like, Mom, which one of these is Bun B?
That's not good. She would. No, she couldn't. You're right.
Yeah, that's tough.
But I feel like the Bun B was more relevant, like where she was. Like she seen some YouTube sipping on some scissor. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
true.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Scarface, I just don't know where. I'm not giving her hip hop like depth a lot of respect. I may be wrong. She might be well studied. I may be wrong. She just doesn't come off that way. So I wouldn't have too much expectation with it. I feel like she's very thorough, probably know her Memphis history as she should.
Yeah.
And that's probably pretty much it.
So would she know David Banner?
Yeah. T.I. Rubber Band, man.
Nigga, she was like 6 when that came out.
I feel like niggas was listening to that still. Like her dad probably was listening to that when she was growing up, man. Like she know who T.I. is, right?
Yeah,
I feel like if you know T.I., you know David Banner. Is that fair?
Are we
like
sure?
That's probably his biggest song.
T.I. has done a lot outside of David Banner. That's what I'm saying. I would love to pick somebody's brain, but I'll say this: if she didn't know who Method Man was, I wouldn't take points away. But if she knew who Method Man was, I would give her points. I'd give her bonus points for that.
I would definitely be impressed if she knew who he was and could be like him and Redman, such and such, and he was. That would be crazy. I would be impressed. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Right. It's actually more surprising that Method Man knows who Glorilla is than Glorilla don't know.
That is a fact.
Keeping it female hip hop, man. Missy, man, she just had a groundbreaking announcement. She is the first female in hip hop inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Simple question: who logically should be the next female inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? As you know, we don't have a hip hop Hall of Fame. That's why we're saying Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, there is one, but it ain't big.
Well, it ain't official tissue quite yet.
That's true. It ain't got the backing.
Right.
I would probably say Nicki Minaj. Right?
I don't believe that.
Like, for hip hop females,
it's gotta be Kim.
Like it's
gotta be Kim. There's no question about it. First ballot, second ballot, gotta be Kim.
Kim, a Hall of Famer?
For sure.
Really?
For sure. She's gotta be next up.
I'm not mad at that. I would figure Nicki would be. I guess she did take Kim's ball and run with it, but her impact was just so large. Like I would compare that to Missy versus Kim. Like Kim was,
I know what you mean.
So hip hop, because like if it's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it has to bleed over like Missy does, and I think Nicki bleeds over more than Kim does. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing. I'd like to see it because she did run, but she did walk for Nicki to run, but I just think that she gets skipped over. Just because Nicki of what it is. If it was a hip hop Hall of Fame, like you said, then yes, of course you're right. But if we're going rock and roll, I would go Nicki just because she's a bigger name and had the more illustrious career.
That's fair. But she has the she had the opportunity to do it during the social media era, which helped tremendously, which gives even more respect to Missy because she didn't have that and she still deserved to be the first one. Like, that adds up. So that math adds up.
What about Lauryn Hill?
She not really. You got to understand her album. Her album won won for R&B album of the year, and at the Grammys, it didn't win for rap album of the year. It won for R&B. So I don't really count her as hip hop. It's not the same to me.
All right, man, you're gonna get some back. You better not read the comments about that one.
Yeah, I feel like at this point that the legend of Lauryn Hill is getting. Anybody I'd feel the same way if 10 years from now Cardi never released nothing again. I'd be like, okay, like we can't mention her with everybody else, dude. Like one album, stop.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. All right, next white on white crime that you spoke about, man. For some reason, your man's Machine Gun Kelly, he got a problem with Jack Harlow. Is this an ongoing beef or something? Is this
not that I'm aware of?
Okay. Yeah, so he was mad, man. He came out on the Renegade track and did a white on white diss, man, that you need to hear if you have not listened to it yet, because he was going in. AB did this diss record Is this the best diss record since he dissed M?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It hasn't been a lot of diss records lately, and the last one when he dissed M was actually pretty tough. I was
It was
pleasantly surprised about that. I didn't see that one coming. I'm not gonna lie. So Jack Harlow on his album said that he was the best white rapper since Eminem, and I'm assuming that's where this is coming from. But I don't know any history between the two outside of that. I didn't even know Machine Gun Kelly still rapped. I thought he switched genres and went to like rock and roll, punk rock and shit. But I will say, and I got to echo, somebody said this on Twitter. I busted out laughing. Somebody said Machine Gun Kelly turns into Rakim when it comes to dissing white rappers, dude. Because he was rapping his ass off on here, dude.
He was spitting though, man.
And I promise,
I remember
I've heard. Listen,
a couple times looking at that and being like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. I've heard Machine Gun Kelly albums before. They're not really talking about nothing like that. But for this and the song about M, this nigga was spitting, dude. Like, I don't know where this comes from, what the motivation is when it comes to these type of records. He accused him of copying Drake's style, which we talked about it on the show. There is there's some fingerprints of Drake throughout that Jack Harlow project. But this shit was funny to me. It was entertaining and he was ripping it. I ain't mad at it. And I don't need a full album from Machine Gun Kelly. If he just jumps out here every once in a while, nigga, to go after white rappers, I'm here for it. It's pretty entertaining.
I enjoyed it too. I 1,000,000% want to hear Jack Harlow response though.
Ooh.
I have to hear that. Like, I am interested.
I'm here for that.
Absolutely, because that ain't his bag. You wouldn't think. He seemed like he tried to stay away from it. But he can rap. I like that Jack boy. And I would love to hear a response from him on this. Like, because like you said, MGK ripped it. Like, he was going in. I found myself a couple of times listening there, like, oh shit, like, he ripping this. So I would love to see what type of response that Jack Harlow does from this. I don't think that he's too big to like just let this go. This ain't one of them where you can just be like, oh, I ain't gonna respond to him.
Yeah.
You think that?
No, I agree.
Like, fuck it. Yeah, like, he can't just sit back and say, oh, I ain't gonna respond to this. I'm bigger than him. So I would love to see how he approaches this. If he do some Drake type shit on the response and then take it all the way left on some soft shit, whatever. But I do want to hear him acknowledge this.
Yeah, because here's the reason he's not too big to let this go. If you just type in Machine Gun Kelly diss Jack Harlow, hypebeast.com, TMZ, Complex, Yahoo, nigga, Cosmopolitan. Like, Machine Gun Kelly is popular. Like, he has a brand.
Yeah, people know him. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So, like, this is news.
Shit. Yeah, ain't none of that shit.
Right.
Niggas are trying to pull.
You're right. I'm very interested to see what he would do in response to that.
Yeah, I want to see how he handled himself, because he claimed he one of them ones we get to see now. Because MGK, he ripped him a new asshole. Pause. Like, that nigga was going. He was bad. He did the Adderall and Coke. Like, he was ready to go, nigga. Yeesh. All right. What we got next?
Next up, man, your man Rollo.
Goon.
Rollo Fam Goon. Been locked up for 2018, 2016.
Yeah,
seems like forever.
7 years, I think.
7. Oh my God. He been away for a stretch. There's now paperwork that leaked that implies that Rollo has been snitching. I'm gonna give you the quote that's on the paperwork that leaked. The specific information that Mr. Davis supposedly gave in the June 6th proffer against other persons, other alleged transactions, other alleged crimes. Quote. That was the sentence that the internet grabbed a hold of and called snitching. One of his artists on Fam Goon Entertainment Records, whatever the fuck, called him, recorded the conversation about him pressing him about, yo, what does this mean? What does this mean? Rollo denies the allegations. Do you think he's supposedly getting out within the next 2-3 years? Do you see him having the same fate as Gunna, who also is fighting off snitching allegations as we speak?
No, I don't think he's gonna have the same fate as Gunna, because Rollo was perceived as a lot more solid, got more street ties. Like, it wasn't no actual, like, Gunna was in the wrong place, wrong time. He wasn't supposed to be there, and he did.
Affiliation.
You know, yeah, he was affiliation. Rollo more like a boss.
Yeah.
So it did surprise me that this came out, and one of his people that rap with him, works with him, whatever it may be, was the one who questioned him on this. And I'm wondering where that dude would even get the information from to call him and be like, man, I'm seeing this out here on the street. So it seems as if there's some disdain in the camp. Like Rollo maybe ain't been able to take care of his people. They may be questioning what's going on. However, the follow-up to it, and he said that this was in a case where there was misconduct by the prosecutor, which means that they did something incorrectly, and he testified that he was a part of the misjustice in it. So they ain't necessarily no snitching. Like, he didn't tell on no nigga on the streets.
Right.
This was a part of his case. He said, to follow that up, 21 Savage called his lawyer because he and Rollo are cool, and 21 Savage called his lawyer, had a conversation to clear it up as well. And 21 Savage said his lawyer said the same thing. It wasn't anything to do with anybody else. It just had to do with his case. 21 Savage sent him $30,000 just, you know, to help, you know, make sure he's taking care of his family and shit. So I think this will die down because there's no real solid allegation. He had an explanation behind it. He's able to talk. Like I said, Rollo more of a boss. He able to come out and be like, nah, this is not me. As to what Gunna, we still ain't heard from him.
Yeah.
Like, we still ain't heard from that nigga. He been out. He ain't put songs out or nothing. So Rollo was able to get in front of this. He was way more solid, it seems, outside in the streets, and people were willing to stand up for him. I know not too long ago, Lil Baby sent him $50,000 to make sure he was taking care of his family. So if they knew that, this wouldn't be happening. So I don't think he's going to suffer the same fate as Gunna. What say you, AB?
First of all, respect to 21 Savage and Lil Baby for putting paper in his pocket, make sure because he's got a family, he's got a daughter.
Too. Yeah, that's for real. Like,
yeah,
nigga,
no,
I ain't gonna just send him $1,000. Like, nigga, he'll go fit the Rex.
Much respect, because we see this. I say that, quick tangent. We see Baby on YouTube at the jewelry spot, at the ice spot, or you see him, you know what I mean, with the new whip, and so a lot of people, oh man, why don't you do this with your money? Like, there's also this part going on over here that didn't get a lot of pub, that you just didn't see it. So niggas is doing respectable shit with their paper. They just not blowing it fast out here. So definitely muchos respect to that. But I want to go to Instagram and look at Rollo's response, because I think this is telling. He said, quote, "I hate to see us as a people continue to kick one another down. Our government has been taking advantage of our weaknesses and using us against us. We should know by now that we're stronger together and every enemy has weakness. When there's no loophole in a case, you got to make a loophole. We must attack what they did wrong and focus less on our wrong. Never judge a book by its cover." Real quick, the second part, sometimes we have to read the entire book to know the truth behind the lies in the story. Know that everything isn't always what it seems to be. I never told y'all one lie in my life, and I swear to Allah, I never cooperated with the federal government. It's not one human being on earth that can say they in jail because of Rollo. I think this was telling. One, I think he's right. I think this happened to Gunna as well, where the footage or the paperwork will somehow mysteriously get leaked, or the footage of Gunna's deposition somehow mysteriously gets leaked online, which creates infighting between the camps and blacks as a whole. And it's giving me like Panther shit. Like, you kind of put the bait out there and then let niggas attack each other and break things down from the inside. That's the vibe that I'm getting, and I like that he worded it the way that he put it. I don't know Rollo from Adam. I don't know Gunna from Adam, but I'm just saying, this makes more sense to me based on his track record with the people that do know him, that he's on to something, and that it's going just as I feel like whoever they are, planned it. So I respect his response.
You know what? That is a fantastic point. Just like you were saying with the leak footage of Gunna. Like, how does that get out? Like, where does that come from? Like,
where's everybody else's?
Ain't one nigga you can't have your cell phone in there. So ain't nobody sitting in the gallery recording. Where did that footage come from, and why did it come out? Same thing with this one and him. Like I was saying with the dude before, like, this is a nigga that raps, works for him, or whatever position that he plays in Fam Goon. Who approached him and was like, "Hey, you know your boy snitching?" For him to be able to be like, "Well, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna record it." Like, Who convinced him that this shit was like that serious?
Yeah.
And it's like what you say when it's deeper than rap, because like you said, I wasn't really familiar with Rollo's music, but I was aware of the movement, like how many people fuck with him. Like I've been outside in Atlanta and seen it, like the fam goon shit. So there is something to be said, like when you're like, well, I'm supposed to be getting out in a couple months. Their case is falling apart because they had a prosecutor who was bullshitting and doing the wrong thing. My lawyer's kicking his ass in court about to get me out of this. I'll let us leak this to make sure he ain't good in the streets when he go back home.
Yeah.
It seems wild. Like you say it out, you're like, man, yeah, right. However, we done seen it happen so many times before with so many different situations. So
yeah,
that's a good point. That is a great point.
He was sentenced to 8 years. He was given 4 years credit for time served. Allegedly, he could come home as soon as this year. But I wouldn't be surprised, because the timing of this paperwork leak, the timing be so suspicious to me, dude. I don't know. I ain't trying to be
it with the. Did you watch the Fred Hampton joint on HBO?
Movie?
Yeah, like we seen it all the time. You see with Malcolm X, like the infiltrating, and then like, well, let us do it from this way.
Yes, they're never hands on with it. It's always through another vehicle, another person, 2 or 3 people removed. I ain't trying to get my tinfoil hat on, but like, dude, like, come on, man. I know it's just quote unquote just Rollo, but I just think it creates infighting and it just destruction from within, man. It's too, I don't know. It's always too convenient, man. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's my turn, buddy. I am reading this one. We are to the money. Yes, sirree. Well, I couldn't wait to get here and talk about this, man, because I've been right about this, AB, for how long now? So 12 years?
Never.
He's telling me, oh, Freddie Gibbs, his tape so cool. He's such a gangster rapper. I said, no, I don't think that's true. And niggas kept telling me that it was. However, over the weekend, AB, this porn star that Freddie Gibbs has been dating openly for the last couple of months or whatever, Benny tried to make a joke of it. He came back and was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Everybody knows this is my girl. They know that she do porn. Okay, got it. Well, come to find out that she got pregnant, AB, and Freddie Gibbs hit her with the adios. He pinataed and got up out of there. She said that he got her pregnant. He was off for it until the baby, actually the seed was planted, and she told him, and he went vominos. She hasn't heard from him or seen from him since. She went back and forth online about how he was such a deadbeat, posted the messages, and also said that she had a picture of Freddie Gibbs' asshole in her phone.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
The story behind that is nuts. She talked about it on Academics. Man, Academics is willing to pay $10,000 to give the child a nickname. She's been talking to Benny to get her, like, be careful who you have babies by. It's all fun and games when she's a porn star, but when she get pregnant, it don't seem to be as fun. I got a question for you, AB. As a Freddie Gibbs fan, how many hits can his career take like this?
Freddie Gibbs Teflon, man.
That's crazy. It's over for him right now.
No, absolutely not.
Over for him right now. 41-year-old rapper with asshole pics online. Yeah, it's over, bro.
Nobody cares.
Yes, they do.
No,
people care.
The people, the people that listen to him don't care.
That's crazy.
They don't care.
Crazy.
The nigga dating a porn star, dude. Who knows what the fuck they had going on? I ain't got a clue. Dude, who the hell knows what the hell kind of shit she had him up in, dude? Bruh, he might be having fucking ball gag pictures, nigga. I don't know.
If he was Tyler, the Creator, you'd be right. Like, if this was the fucking
it's not that far
somebody
off,
like, nah, stop.
It's not that far off.
This nigga is supposed to be a crack-selling gangster rapper, nigga. That's what his whole thing was, and that was my point when he was doing all of that shit with Jeezy. You're right. He's not that far off. That is him as far as that, but he don't act that way. That ain't the persona that he has in the streets is Gangster Gibbs. Like all the beefing with Benny. Like we seen it when the nigga got beat up in Buffalo. We seen it when he was arguing with Academics. Like, bro, you are not Gangster Gibbs, and that's okay. I'm not saying that like I'm Scarface or Big Meech. All I'm saying is I ain't out in the streets acting like a gangster, bro. Like for someone to pop up with asshole pics of you, that is insane, my nigga. I don't care how good you rap, bro. Like, we just talked about with Currency earlier. You gotta be yourself. This wouldn't be a big deal. You're right if he was acting like who he really was, but I feel like beefing with Jeezy and trying to do all of that stuff. Fringe fans, you're right. Those are the people that he'll lose. A nigga like me that was like, okay, yeah, I know Freddie Gibbs can rap. I'm gonna check it out just to see. Never again. But I was already hating anyway, so
facts. Yes, you were. But what I'm saying is,
I have an excuse now. Like I'm never listening to another Freddie Gibbs album.
If he has already taken multiple L's, because I would argue video of him getting jumped by the niggas he was dissing is worse than this. Or
that's part of it. That's all it covers, though.
That's happened twice.
I forgot about Jim Jones kicking his ass.
If this hasn't put him under by now,
and it wasn't no video either. It wasn't no video of Jim Jones shit.
It don't matter. This won't. Nobody cares.
Video. Stop, bro. We know it's a difference when there's video out there.
Well, no. There's definitely a difference.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say if it was a video of that Jim Jones shit, it'll really be over. I wouldn't be joking here. It would be like over for real.
There's video with a Vinny. Nobody cares, bro. The news cycle moves too quick.
Yeah, but that's like Granny's a brutal JFK film. If a nigga had the live Ray Rice in action, like, god damn, Gibbs getting demolished out there. Absolutely OV, nigga. And again, it ain't because there's something wrong with losing a fight. It's because of the persona that he has, that he's Gangsta Gibbs. You know
first of all, he hasn't called himself Gangsta Gibbs in years. So
that's on him. That ain't on me. That's on him.
He backing away from that shit.
Jeezy made him stop doing that. I tried to tell y'all then. Jeezy did, like, niggas, stop. Gangsta Gibbs my ass, nigga. Yeah, it's funny because he's funny. Like, if he were more like his online persona and not, a crack selling gangster rapper that he portrays, then yeah, you're right. Well, who gives a fuck? That's what Freddie Gibbs do is Bad Bunny or whatever the fuck is that? Bad Rabbit? What is he called?
Who the fuck is that?
That's what his online name is. His Twitter name. Bad Rabbit,
the little rabbit shit.
Shit.
But first of all, so you're saying that you believe that means you believe the chick?
Yes, I believe all of it.
You believe the porn star?
Yes, I do. Why wouldn't I?
Clout?
Why wouldn't I believe
2023? What are you talking about?
He was dating. What do you mean? Talking about the baby part?
No, just any and all of it.
I mean, I heard her talk about it. I've never listened to Academics before, but I listened to that. That's how invested I was. Now I heard her talk about it. She said they was just on IG and he just like bent over when she said bye and sent them the pic. Yeah, I believe the fight shit. She had a picture right there.
That was funny.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
The picture of her at the fight thing was funny.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it looked like she got rocked too. Here's a nigga squaring. It was a nigga sizing her up. She got that ball cut too. Nigga probably mistook her for a little boy or something. It was OV, nigga. I know she took a L in there.
Oh shit.
Buffalo niggas wasn't playing, nigga.
I'm gonna listen to that Gibbs nigga on tomorrow night, nigga. We'll sold separately, goddamn it. Let's get it.
Listen to it and laugh.
Let's go.
Nigga, that's what you're about to do, man. Y'all let us know, man, if Freddie Gibbs' career can take another hit, man. What we got for wins and losses, AB?
Wins or losses, man. First up to Kodak Black. Jada Kiss said Kodak Black is the one rapper who has ever sent a verse back of his and told him to redo it. Is it a win or a loss? Kodak sending a Jada verse back, asking him to redo it.
That's a W. Jada Kiss respects him enough to tell that story. Because Jada, it could have went left another way. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, who the fuck you think you is? But I guess it goes to show the respect that he has for Kodak that he's willing to tell that story.
Yeah.
I bet he was surprised as fuck. So it's a W.
That's a W because but I mean, well, I need to hear the song because it's Kodak.
I do want to hear that verse. I want to hear that verse. Kodak be ripping it. Don't do that.
What?
Kodak be ripping it. Absolutely. Absolutely
nigga,
be ripping.
I can tell you 5 or 6 songs niggas should have told Kodak to send back. What's the Rocket Man?
That's true too.
The Rocket Man should have been
told him
back.
on that Rocket Man, be like, no. I'm gonna let you catch the next one. The next rocket going out of town, you can hop on that one, bro. But this one is not it. That nigga ruined Jeezy whole vibe, nigga. Thought about that. It's crazy.
Next up, man, win or loss, your man Kevin Gates on his Instagram stories shared a live natural birth. 5.5 minutes of a live birth on his Instagram story. Win or loss?
That's a W. He expanding his brand, man. Was it by the girl that he dates with
Oh,
the
I don't know.
gardens and shit?
I was distracted by a whole lot of other shit going on in the video
There's no
besides
way
who the
that you
person
looked at
actually
that.
was.
There's no way that you looked. There's like, let me tell you, 0 seconds of my life would have been looking at that. But I mean, it's a W because I feel like this is part of his brand, and that's what he's trying to expand into, man. All this natural, like sex, God shit, and all this whatever the fuck he got going on. I don't listen to Kevin Gates, bro. So yeah, this is a W for him that we still talk about him. He still makes news with lack of me listening to his music.
Listen, I was on Twitter and somebody said, y'all go to Kevin Gates stories right now. This nigga's insane. I can't not go to Kevin Gates story right then to see what the fuck somebody is talking about.
That's
man, this nigga had a live birth, nigga. I saw 3 seconds of it, dude. I got the fuck out of there, dude. First, nigga, they even tell you, nigga, when you
be
go
quicker than that.
when you are with somebody that's giving birth, nigga, you stay above the equator, my nigga. Like, don't even go down there, dude. Like, stay right. Leave that to the doctors and the nurses and the professionals.
I am good. They tried to show us that shit in the 8th grade. I left. You had that. You could be like, if you didn't want to see it, it was too graphic.
I would have
walk out of class.
Yeah, ain't no question.
Holla at you. Yeah. I didn't even think no thought process at that time. I'm just going to the gym so we can leave. Y'all letting us leave, we leave. But yeah, I don't want to see that at all. Not in the slightest.
Oh shit. One more winner loss, man. Kendrick Lamar released a limited edition To Pimp a Butterfly vinyl designed by Gucci for $2,500. There are only 100 of them made. They are available right now as we speak. Is this a winner or loss?
This is a big W. Putting more solidification on a classic album of this generation. It'll be hanging up in probably some museums as a piece of art in 100 years with this Gucci vinyl. So it's a big W.
This is an L. Number one, the fact that there's only 100 of them and they're still available. I can order it right now if I want to. Lets me know nobody wants to pay for this shit. That's first.
It's a recession, man. Ain't nobody paying $2,500 for these but museums. Somebody, but I put that part of the curation budget of one of these, the high art museum or something. But yeah, ain't no nigga coming out of pocket for that.
I will say,
dumb cool. Man.
The other thing is, I don't under it. The two brands don't make sense to me. This album and Gucci don't make sense.
That is a fact. That's
probably the wrong album to do that with.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's probably why they're still sitting there. Or they probably needed to be more. Like, I feel like a motherfucker that's gonna buy this and really like treat it like a piece of art or something and appreciate it, like $2,500, that ain't the right price tag. You know what I'm saying? It seems like it should be more. That way it's more valuable of a possession. And then the motherfuckers that can spend $2,500 on it don't want it.
But you got a vinyl. How much is a vinyl? $30?
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm thinking this gonna be one that's like, you probably gonna frame this or some shit. Like, you gonna put this.
Yeah, you're not listening to it.
Yeah. I don't know. It really, it don't make a lot of sense. I'm going back. It's a L. It don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. He probably didn't have no creative input on this. It's probably all Interscope.
They probably just gave him some money for it. Oh, here's a check from Gucci. You go.
What's this for, man? I don't know. Something. All right.
Some shit they trying to do with the Pimp a Butterfly, bro. Just take this $3 million. My mortgage due.
Oh shit. Man, let's go to On Decker of the Week, man. Shout out to, we want to Instagram. Shout out to the homie QC115. He tagged us in the Spinrilla announcement that they are closing down. Said, man, damn, one of our favorite apps to find music to. R.I.P. to Spinrilla.
R.I.P. to a legend, man.
Woo. They took a mean L. Like the CEO had 30 million, something crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. I think it was 50.
Oof. So they obviously the site shut down unless my man had just 50 in the stash. I doubt. But the site shut down, man. OG spot too, man. I'm hot about that.
Probably in the Cayman Islands somewhere with his money. His money and Franklin money the same.
Facts. Yeah, you ain't never getting that. Shout out to a friend of the show, man, Mill, who worked at Spinrilla, man. Hope everything is all good over on his end. We know he'll be straight, man. He
absolutely
know what the fuck he doing out here.
Yep.
Give me something to put on, man.
Shout out my guy Jay Ho from the Full Sport Press podcast. He mentioned this in the group chat, that Blog Era podcast with our boys. One of my favorite group of podcasters, Jeff and Eric from It's the Real. You may know them from the skits that they do. Man, they are doing a fantastic job about the blog era of hip hop, man. It started with like how Joe Budden, and it's a lot of good information that you and I will remember and bring back a lot of memories, man. So if you haven't seen that blog era podcast, it's only audio, so check that out in your podcast app, man. But it's going to be worth the listen. 4 episodes of a 10-episode series are out now.
They cold though. They do pretty good content.
Yeah, have you started it?
No, not yet. I'm hearing good things.
And you gonna burn through them foes so quick. I listened to them foes back to back on the weekend, nigga. Eesh.
I can see that.
They cooking. They cooking. And it's like right in our era, our pocket too.
No, I'm here for that. If I'm gonna go put on, I'm going TV. I may have mentioned this before, but I can't stress it enough. Please watch that Dear Mama on FX. It's 6 episodes. The last episode is coming on this Friday. I thought episode 5 was spectacular. And I didn't think it could get any better after episode 4. It did. Episode 5 is the death row. So, oh my God. It's so well put together, dude. And I'm a Pac fan, but to see, I had to look this up. There are 16 Pac documentaries that already exist. And so I was curious to see how they were going to do the 17th Pac documentary. Like, how could you possibly make this any different or any more unique than what's already been said or done? They have exceeded my expectations. Man, shout out to Alan Hughes, who also did the documentary on Dre and Jimmy Iovine from like maybe 4 years ago. That was super dope with the
Apple one.
Was that Apple? No, I think it came on HBO. Apple, yeah. It was called The Defiant Ones. But it was tough though. Had never before seen footage of Dre, and they had a whole bunch of never before seen shit. Dre was on like an island in Hawaii talking or some shit. But he did that too, and I said, okay, that adds up. But this is really fucking good. They are long episodes though, so I would split them in half personally, unless you just got hella time on your hands. But they're really, really good. Highly recommended. Highly. Can't stress that enough. Especially if you're a Pac fan.
I'm home for Mother's Day this weekend. Yeah, I might check that out.
For sure.
Awesome, man.
No, hey man, another episode in the books, man. Hey, do us a favor, youtube.com/OnDeckTV Show. Leave us a comment and go to IG. Leave us a comment there as well at OnDeckTV Show. We appreciate everyone tapping in. Anything else before we get out of here?
That is it, man. We appreciate you guys joining us. 10 years in the books this month. We appreciate everybody who's been rocking with us for so long. We out.
Yes, sir.